space.
Around 4000 BC, the Mesopotamians had created a stable foundation for the future of astronomy. They were the first to record their findings, such as the movement of zodiacal constellations with changing seasons and the addition of 8 new constellations. They had built ziggurats to make celestial observations. They created minutes and seconds by taking a circle and dividing it.
Egyptians used astronomy to predict the Nile floods. Temples and monuments were aligned with the 4 directions and the rising and setting sun during the summer solstice.
Located in Salisbury, England, the stone monument we call Stonehenge was created as a solar observatory. The alignment of the stones marks the sunrise during the solstices.
The Chinese began recording their observations as early as the 13th century. They witnessed and recorded over 1,600 observations of solar and lunar eclipses from as early back as 750 BC.
Thales reportedly predicted a total solar eclipse in 585 BC.
Pythagoras made many leaps in astronomy. He suggested that celestial bodies were spheres and that they moved in perfectly circular paths. He also believed the Earth wasn't stationary.
The Babylonians kept detailed descriptions of planetary positions and developed mathematical descriptions of their movements.
Aristotle proved that the Earth is a sphere by proposing that falling objects move towards the center of the Earth and that Earth's shadow on the moon is always circular.
Aristarchus showed that it was possible to use geometry to calculate the distance to the moon.
Eratosthenes calculated the size of the Earth by using geometry.
Hipparchus made what is likely the earliest systematic catalog of the stars.
Mayans and Mesoamericans kept complex calendars of the sun, the moon, and Venus. The Mayans also built monuments to align with the sunset and sunrise during equinoxes and solstices.
Ptolemy completed a solar system model that accurately accounted for the motion of planets using circular motions. He created magnitude system, which is still in use today. He also began working on a modified geocentric model of the solar system.
Arabs and Muslims preserved much of Greek astronomy. They were the first to build observatories that were equipped like modern observatories. Many contributions to astronomy and mathematics came from Islamic scholars. The invention of algebra and trigonometry is attributed to this scholar.
Copernicus proposed the first fully developed heliocentric model of the solar system, which made it possible to use geometry and observations to determine all planetary distances in terms of Earth's orbital unit.
Tycho Brahe rejected the heliocentric model of the universe. Instead, he came up with a model somewhere between Ptolemy and Copernicus, a mix between helio and geocentric.
Galileo put together a telescope in 1609 and began observing outer space. In 1610, he discovered the 4 largest satellites of Jupiter. He also established the principle of inertia. His observations confirmed Copernicus's heliocentric model of the solar system.
For more advancements to be made in astronomy, old ideals had to be thrown out. Kepler didn't believe that planets orbited in perfect circles and tested ovals. His theory that planetary orbits moved in ovals matched Brahe's data. Kepler also proposed the 3 laws of planetary motion.
Newton contributed much to astronomy and science as a whole. He proposed the 3 laws of motion as well as the law of universal gravitation. He invented differential and integral calculus. The Newtonian telescope, completed in 1668, is the earliest known functional reflecting telescope.
Edmund Halley correctly predicted that the comet known as Halley's Comet would appear in 1758.
Einstein has made many accomplishments throughout his lifetime, but the one that might have had the most amount of attention is the theory of relativity. He also explained that light comes in quantas, also known as photons, which changed the way scientists thought about light.
Perhaps most known for his proposal of the atomic model, Niels Bohr did much for science. He developed the liquid droplet theory as well as an early quantum theory. Bohr also contributed to the Manhattan Project.
Pauli mostly worked as a mathematician, developing the Pauli equation as well as matrices. He also proposed the Pauli exclusion principle and postulated the neutrino.
Werner Heisenberg proposed the uncertainty principle in 1927. He also contributed to the work on subatomic models. He is credited with the unified field theory, also known as the world formula.
Edwin Hubble demonstrated that the universe was expanding by measuring the distances and motions of the galaxies. He also suggested that the other galaxies are moving away from the Milky Way, otherwise known as Hubble's law. His notion of an expanding universe formed the basis of the Big Bang theory.
George Lemaitre, known as the father of the Big Bang, published a paper on his theory of an expanding universe in 1927. This paper allowed other scientists to develop the Big Bang theory, which states that the universe originated from a small point in space and has been expanding ever since. He also invented the Lemaitre coordinates.
Known as the father of the atomic bomb, Robert Oppenheimer had a large role in the Manhattan Project, which developed the first nuclear weapons. He was very interested in the fields of astronomy and physics. He made important contributions to the theory of cosmic ray showers. He also wrote a paper that predicted the existence of the positron, as well as the existence of black holes.
Fred Hoyle mostly worked on the theory of nucleosynthesis. He suggested that appearance of the new matter was due to the creation field or C field. He also suggested a theory of gravity similar to Einstein's.
In 1963, Arno Penzias and Robert Wilson had been studying microwave signals from the Milky Way galaxy when they heard a noise that is now called cosmic microwave background radiation. Cosmic microwave background radiation is radiation that can be detected everywhere in the universe, which was left behind from the Big Bang.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. On July 20th, 1969, NASA had sent Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin into space on Apollo 11. Armstrong and Aldrin had become the first humans to step foot onto the moon.